get off and running here on a Monday. Happy Monday to you and yours. What is today? April 20th, 420. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. Hope you all had a good weekend. Here's some announcements, some things going on this week. One, I'll get out today, tomorrow, Wednesday, all the grading and assessment and stuff, and then you'll have a pretty good feel of where you are at this point. Okay, so expect a bunch of comments and emails and stuff coming out in the next 24, 48 hours on those, and then you can kind of get a really pretty good gauge of what's going on. For this week, we'll talk about it. I want to do we're going to finish up our CPAs this week. Okay. So we're going to finish up CPA number 10, which I will post and hand out when I post this video and stuff later. And we'll talk about what we're doing with CPA number 10 for this week. So that should knock out CPAs. And most of you have done really well on those. So we'll complete the CPAs for Friday, and then you guys will have your CPA grade. If you've done them all, or if you've done missed one or two here and there, you're going to get a good grade on that CPA stuff regardless. Okay. What else is going on this week? We'll talk about, and I'll post a few more videos. World 1, did you guys find those helpful at all? If you've watched them, maybe if you haven't watched them, please do watch them. I love the oversimplified one. Like it makes me giggle, but it's really helpful too. So this week we'll do some more looking into kind of who was on each side, a little bit into the fighting, what type of fighting there was, trench warfare, that ugly stuff. And then we're going to get into what should America do, and we'll talk about that CPA at the end, where you guys are going to be talking about how would you influence a population that was anti-war to become pro-war. Okay, because hopefully you picked up on it. We'll talk about it briefly here in our notes. Hopefully you picked up from the videos how anti-war and kind of pro-German the American public was at the start of the war. All right, if you haven't picked that up, either get that down in your notes or make a special mention to go back and kind of see where you can find it. But we'll talk about that as we move through class today and talk about some things for this week. What else is going on? Anybody else got anything, comments, questions that would pertain to the course material or anything like that? If you do, throw it down in the chat and I'll come to you and answer those as we get into today. Like I said, I won't be in here too long today. I got another meeting to get to in a little bit. The notes this week we'll do, we walked through a Zoom session for Friday. We walked through those slides so kind of one by one that's going to serve basically as the note session for those slides. Okay. It makes no sense for me to go back and say the exact same thing that I said in the Zoom on the slides again. Okay. So what I will do though is I'll post the kind of downloadable raw version of those PowerPoint notes that you can have them for the upcoming quiz 4 and final exam. Okay, so that you can download those and get those ready and stuff like that. Okay. What else? What else was I going to say? I'm kind of a little scattered. Let me think about it. I will, with these notes today that we're going to go over, we'll hit on just a couple of the slides. I will do a video walkthrough with these notes for this week. Okay, so before we get back in here on Friday, I will have sent those out and hope that you would look through those that video walkthrough of the notes before we come back in on Friday. Okay? And these notes are the ones that we're going to look at real briefly here in a couple minutes. Okay? So what we did on Friday was causes of World War I, if you remember that. And then today we're going to look at a little bit of the course of World War I, some important people and W's and those types of things. And then this week we're going to kind of finish out the course of it and try to figure out what the heck the Americans were doing for 3 years of the war and why the Americans joined so late. Cool? All right, so that's what we're getting into this week, just to kind of give you a sense of what's going on. And then do stuff for this week, if there's stuff to do during the week, will be that CPA number 10, which we'll talk about at the very end today, and I'll post. Coolio? So everybody got a kind of a set on where we're going? Okay, awesome. So let me do 10 minutes here or so of screen share and kind of show you where we are just to set the stage for this week. Okay, so if you remember, we looked at a few cartoons from last weekend on Friday. And what happened was that Europe was in a blame game situation. Can we see this screen? Can I get head shake, couple head shakes maybe? Can you guys see what the screen that I'm sharing now? Here, yes, no, maybe so. Anything?
I can't see anything.
Everybody good?
Not yet.
Okay. I love this. This is this additional cartoon here. This is from the Chicago Tribune. If you're looking at it, one of the really cool things about this cartoon is you have this kind of this figure back here, which is kind of sad to look at, but it's called the Peace of Europe, and she's got this like dagger. She's laying on the thing. She got this dagger, like she's like stabbed and dead, and then there's this finger over here pointing at everybody like, look what you guys did, like scolding the nations of Europe. And what I want you guys to look at here is how, remember when Serbia, it was that Serbian nationalistic group that murdered the Austrian prince. And basically what Austria does is, and you guys hopefully picked up on this from the videos over the weekend, is that Austria kind of comes down really hard on Serbia and gives them really kind of an impossible demand of stuff. And Austria turns to their buddy Germany and says, if they don't match this, can we go, in essence, beat them up? And Germany says, yeah, we're going to back you on that. And then Serbia, if you remember, because they're Slavic, turns to Russia. You can see here on the map here, they turn to Russia and they're like, hey, if Austria invades us, can you protect us from Austria? And Russia's like, yeah, we'll protect you. And this is how it all kind of kicks in, guys, if you remember that. Because then Germany warns Russia, don't you go in there and support your Slavic buddies in Serbia, or we're going to declare war on you. And wing, bang, boom, everybody just starts declaring war on each other. One of the things that I want you to see here is bottom right of this cartoon from the Chicago Tribune is how Italy is kind of sitting it out. This guy from Italy, he's standing over here with his arms crossed, and he's like, yeah, I'm not really going to choose a side here for a while. And Italy's a really intriguing situation in World War I. They will sit out a large portion of the war, and we'll see why they do that and what's the deal behind that situation. All right. So I love that cartoon there if you're looking at Europe playing the blame game. And so one of the questions, okay, guys, a guaranteed question on upcoming quiz and exam is you're going to have to know. There's certain things that I'm a stickler for. I'm not usually a hard guy or a stickler for most things. One of those things is I think that every student should know who fought on whose side during the major wars. Okay, so that's one of the things that's a guaranteed question on an upcoming quiz and exam is you got to know who was on each side. Okay, who were the Central Powers in World War I, who were the Axis powers when we get to World War II, who are the allies in World War I, who are the allies in World War II, those types of things, okay? So as you can see here, there's kind of three major powers on each side that do the bulk of the fighting in World War I. For the Allies, you have Great Britain here flying the Union Jack. Okay, this is not just England, guys. This includes Great Britain. This flag called the Union. Not just all right, you get that communist flag. And we'll talk about that in the notes this week. Russia will undergo a social revolution. Russia's experience in this war, that's what war is about. And the socialist communists, Russia will be under a communist semi-dictatorship for the next 78 years till the late 80s, early 90s. The gunfight was in 1918.
Sorry, I'm not sure if it's just on my end, but your mic is like kind of muffly and it's breaking up a little bit. I don't know if that might just be me though. I'm not sure.
It's happening on mine too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, some things you say just like I miss a couple of bits.
Is that better? Like that?
Yeah, it kind of like keeps coming like in and out, but it's better at the minute.
It's literally anytime you share your screen with us, your audio quality just drops. Like sometimes I can't tell what you're talking about.
Oh no. Okay.
Like this, it's fine, but anytime you show us the PowerPoint, it cuts out.
Oh, bleep. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry to be bearer of bad news.
Okay. That's okay. No. This is good. This is good. I need to. We need to work on that.
Yeah.
So okay. So then let's. We'll see what we can do here as far as that goes. Then I guess so. Everybody can hear me pretty good here.
Yeah, you're fine here. If you go back to your PowerPoint, I'll let you know if it happens again.
All right, keep talking to me. Let's see. Let's try this again. Let's see if we got a better connection here. And okay. Yay or nay? Am I still sounding like a robot?
No, you're fine at the minute.
Should I talk like? No. All right. Is it better now? Okay.
Keep going, and I'll let you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Central powers. Can you guys hear this? Yes. No.
Yeah.
Central powers, guys. On the right side there, you're going to see Germany. That flag in the middle there is Austria-Hungary. All right. I can only see, like I said, when I share my screen, I can only see like 3 or 4 of you on my screen.
Yeah, so, see, just then it had another little kind of cracky bit.
So patience, you're one of them. I can see, like, just give me like thumbs down when my voice starts to go bad. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Same with you. I can see, Tommy, you're on there. Who else? I can see. Like I said, it cycles in and out. Cycles in and out who I can see. But if I start going bad, just give me thumbs down, and I won't take it personally. All right.
Okay.
And then, guys, at the very bottom here, you got the flag of, this is the Ottoman Empire. They are AKA modern-day Turkey. Okay, so they're going to be living on the that peninsula out there in modern-day Turkey. They're going to be, the Ottoman Empire is going to be the weakest, essentially, of all of the powers that are going to be fighting in World War I, and they're going to lose just a ton of land, and we'll talk about how that land is distributed and broken up at the end here of the week. As you can see in the middle here, Italy is going to sit out the early part of the war. And then in 1915, Italy is going to throw their weight into the Allies and join the Allies because they feel like it's the Allies that are going to win. It's an interesting situation. Italy, and then at the end, guys, at the end of this war, when the Treaty of Versailles is signed, the Allied powers are going to be really mean. They're going to be really mean with Italy, and they're not going to give Italy much of the war spoils, because they're going to be like, well, you weren't on our side until the very end. So Italy will feel kind of backhandedly slapped by the Allies, right? And they'll kind of carry that resentment with them for a while, which is why then you'll see in World War II, Italy will link up with Germany in World War II, because they will feel still kind of betrayed and backstabbed by what happened to them in World War I. Does that make sense at all? Yeah, cool. So just briefly here, one of the things I do want to go over to make sure that I hit on it this week so you guys understand the early part of the war is the belief by Germany. And we looked at these numbers last week, guys. Germany had ramped up their military, their militarism, their production so high that they felt like they were just going to blast through and run over everybody like they did in the 1870s, and it was going to be a really quick war. Okay. Except that hopefully you guys picked up on this from the video, is that Belgium, all right, who wanted to remain neutral, puts up a pretty good fight against Germany. So I'm going to click on this slide here, okay, to talk about the first part of the war. It's called the Schlieffen Plan. They kind of mentioned it in the video, but I want to talk about it more because I find it really interesting. If you can see the arrow pointing at his dates when German General von Schlieffen was alive, if you can look at those dates, guys, this guy, and this is important for the course of World War I. World War I was a modern war fought with old school Napoleonic tactics. Does that make sense at all? Everybody always wonders why World War I, there's so many battlefield casualties. It's because they were fighting with these old school plans like Napoleonic tactics, except that the guns, the bombs, the tanks, everything was 100 years off into the future. And these tactics were leading to mass slaughter of people. Because who cares if you can send or try to send a group of guys around the edge, because now instead of firing on these soldiers with kind of smooth bore, if you know anything about firearms, all right, another thing that got invented during the last 100 years of war from Napoleon to now is the rifling. Rifles got invented. And guys, rifling, and I'll talk about this more when I do the video, rifling is like throwing a spiral football, right? Imagine how hard it would be to throw a football with the laces on it. The laces allow you to grip it and throw a spiral. Basically, a rifled gun, the bore of the gun, like this out here, the barrel, creates the bullet to shoot out like a spiral football. That's what makes it a straight bullet, because spinning this way and going forward. Prior to this, it had been a smooth bullet. So you shot your bullet out of the gun. There was no rifling on it, so that you could like literally. This is the thing about old school warfare, is you could aim at somebody 5 feet away and get a bullet flying off that way, and then you have bayonet charges. The issue is when we get to World War I, you got guns, rifles, all kinds of stuff, and these guys were still doing tactics that they would support in their lives, and that's what leads to all these terrible casualties. Okay. So that's the big one from the first part of the war. This guy named Schlieffen, he's into France and not France locally before the Russians mobilized. Right? And the problem is, and hopefully going to the Russians mobilized a lot more quickly than Germans were anticipating, but less anticipating during this time period, and helps out Belgium. Okay, so this is kind of the early part of the war that I'm going to. So the thing is, I'll go over tactics and some things, look at some videos of trench warfare and stuff this week, all right? But the last thing I'm to explain to you guys here on this last slide, look at, because this will be setting up for CP for the week, is what does the American public do? Okay, what are we supposed to do in this time period? Because, guys, at the beginning of the war, the United States is not only against war, as you can see from this. Cincinnati, a gigantic German population in this. I mean, one of the populations that you don't forget sometimes before all this, stuff came along was over the Rhine. Okay, OTR. Over the Rhine is German. Like Rhine River is Germany's gigantic German population in the United States and around Cincinnati. And they're like, why are we supposed to be anti-German? Like, all those Germans aren't really doing anything that wrong. Okay, until some stories have to come out about what was going on with German attack, what's going on. This is where I want you, if you have your books, or don't have your books, make sure you up in your books. Page 854 is huge. Okay, talking about page 854 starts talking about these things, these posters. Oh, sorry. Any better? Guys, there were anti-war songs, like I didn't raise my voice, soldier. Okay, so the United States kind of slipped. Okay, so I'll stop sharing there and we'll finish up today here with just me talking to you like this. All right, so the big thing is this week, and I'm going to type it in here on our chat, and then you can start thinking about it, and then I'll make sure that I also send it out with our notes today. All right, and I'm going to type this question in here. What would be some ways that you would get the United States population from anti to pro war? All right, that is what your job is this week. Okay, your job this week is I want you guys to sit and kind of think and maybe come up with some ways, like you're in charge, like you're gonna play the, you're gonna play like propaganda minister. Okay, you're gonna have to figure out a way to get the American population who's kind of pro-German and anti-war to flip and want to join this war effort on the side of Britain, France, and Russia. Okay, so what would be some things that you would do? What would be some ways that you would go about that? Think about those. Okay, and then that's where we're going to come in and have our discussion on the early part of Friday. Does that make sense?
Is that just to list a couple of methods?
Yep. Yeah, Michael, that's all that CPA is going to be, is you guys, it's just going to be a kind of a one question CPA where you guys just come up with and try to list maybe 2, 3, 4 things that you would do if you were to play information minister, if you were kind of in charge of, remember there wasn't TV around this time, but there was early radio, very early radio. Not everybody had a radio yet. So what you guys are going to be most influential with is you're going to have to figure out a way to do it with like pictures and writing and those types of things. Okay, so what would be some ways that you would do that? So if you got some in your head firing now, keep them to yourself. All right, write them down in your CPA, and then that's where we're going to start on our discussion on Friday. Is how do you get the Americans involved? Okay.
When are you setting the CPA as well?
I'm going to send that out with this video in about an hour or two.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yep. And then, like I said, we'll do the same thing that we did a week previous, where you'll, in order to get credit for that CPA and knock out your CPAs for the semester, try and send that to me before class starts on Friday.
Okay, awesome.
And then you guys will have your CPAs knocked out, and that grade should be pretty solid for pretty much everybody that's in this room right now. Most of you guys that I'm looking at now have done a great job turning in your CPAs and having some awesome effort throughout the semester. So this should be, you guys that are here right now should rock this pretty easily, and get your 90, 100% on your CPAs. All right.
Nice.
And that's going to be helpful at the end of the semester too, guys, is you're going to see it's like you've built up that bank of points, and that's just going to come rocking in at the end of the semester to pull your grade up even higher. Okay. So remember, we'll do that this week for the CPA. I'll get all the assessment and commentary and stuff out to you guys over the next 24, 48 hours. Cool.
Great.
Awesome. Awesome.
Nice one. All right. I'll see you later, guys.
Yeah, man. So whatever you guys need, if you need any questions or anything, let me know. And I'm going to, like I said, send this video out. Like I said, sorry about the audio when I share the screen, but I will get these notes will be narrated with a video that you can walk through and pause and do whatever you need to do with these World War I notes. Cool.
Very.
Awesome. All right. Well, enjoy the sunny weather. If you're around sunny weather, get out and enjoy it for a little bit. And I'll post everything up here in a little bit. And then we'll get our week off and running. Cool?
Unbelievable, Jeff.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, guys.
See you later.
Cheers. I'll see you on Friday.
Cheers, mate.